Okay. So let's move on to the housekeeping rules. First, be aware of your environment. Ensure you are in a quiet and distraction-free space. Second, keep your volume at a safe level. Avoid listening to excessively high volumes when using hands-free devices. Third, we are to mute our mic when we are not asked to speak, and also reduce background noise by keeping our microphone muted unless we are asked to speak. And also, we should share our video when requested, and also turn on our camera only if we're asked to do so. And lastly, we shouldn't watch while driving for safety reasons, and we shouldn't attend virtual meetings while driving. So moving on to the next, I'll be giving a brief history about Mr. B's Foundation and their achievements. So Mr. B's Educational Foundation is a registered non-governmental organization in Nigeria Corporate Affairs Commission, and it was established based on 3 out of the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals: Goal 1, Goal 4, and Goal 17. Goal 1, which is no poverty. Goal 4, good quality and education. Good and quality education. Then Goal 17, partnership to achieve the goals. Then the achievement of Mr. B's Foundation over the years, we have rewarded over 70 students from 4 government-owned secondary schools within 5 years for their academic excellence, empowered over 200 women in vocational skills as a source of livelihood. They have trained teachers from 5 government-owned schools, and also the current second batch of the mentorship program is ongoing. They have also supported over 2,000 students and young professionals with employment and scholarship opportunities. And they have partnered with organizations such as Society Petroleum Engineers, Elita Consults, Lagos State Youth Ambassador, Bariam Fashions, Selfless Service Foundation, Kwa Educational Foundation, and Wuriola Foundation, and more to come. So you all are highly welcome to today's session. Today will be the topic for today is professional writing, which we will be covering CV and cover letters. And with us here, we have our speaker, Mr. Taufik Yusuf. Mr. Taufik Yusuf is an accomplished process engineer based in Mönchengladbach, sorry for the wrong spelling, Germany, with years of experience in pyrometallurgy and materials engineer. He holds a master's degree in metallurgical engineering from RWTH Aachen University and a bachelor's degree in materials science and engineering from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. Mr. Taufik has contributed significantly to the field of engineering globally, and Mr. Taufik is skilled in writing CVs, cover letters, and professional emails, both as freelancer and within his engineering roles. His dedication to continuous improvement and excellence in professional writing makes him a valuable speaker on this topic. So we should all welcome Mr. Taufik Yusuf as he share from his wealth of knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jumbo Sunday. Thank you for the introduction, and I also welcome everyone to this session. Thank you to special thanks to Mr. B's Foundation for this opportunity to share some insight on this important topic: CV writing, cover letter, and email. We have quite a number of people on the call, about 16 of you, and I don't want to waste time because we have very limited time, but maybe in the chat, if you can, please let me know if you are undergraduate, you're a graduate, you are working, I'm an engineer, you are an accountant. So yeah, your occupation, so to say. And if you're a student, what level are you, please, in the chat? Under 1 minute, can we do that, please? Just want to see, because today's topic is about CV writing and the way individual or different fields write their CV is different. It's not the same, and so I would like to understand or have an overview of who I'm speaking, with on this topic, so that we can have a very impactful session this afternoon. Okay, we have a number of final year students here: pharmacy, mechanical engineering, petroleum, nice one, fresh graduates from OAU, Great Affair. Okay, yeah. So, no, okay, we have another graduate from FUTA, Mr. Okoyemi. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, from the response in the chat, I see that a number of us are undergraduate, which is a very good one. This is the best time, I think, where we can. I'm a bond graduate. What's bond graduate? I don't know what that means, but I mean, you are a fresh graduate from one university. So yeah, so I'm happy to have this category of people on this call, because it means that you guys are taking, you are really particular and serious, with getting the required skill, when going out of school. I mean, this is a very valuable and impactful time to have this kind of conversation with us all. So I'm really happy for to be speaking with you all this afternoon. So in order not to, without further ado, I will go directly into the topic, and we can have a very wonderful discussion. Okay, can I share my screen? Mm, okay, please let me know when you can see my screen. Please, you can drop it in the chat if you can see my screen, or Mr.
Yes, sir, we
Jumbo can
can.
let me know. Okay, good one.
We
Thank you
can.
very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so the topic before me here is professional writing, CV writing, cover letter, and email. So today, okay, for today's session, we have a very short objective, because I want us to understand that when it comes to professional writing, or so to say, CV, cover letter, email, LinkedIn optimization, all of these things, it all depends on what kind of field are we talking about, what level are you, are you writing your CV to for promotion? Are you writing your CV as an entry level person? Are you writing your CV as an engineer? Are you writing your CV as a tech guy who is seeking tech, information technology roles? But the objective of today's session, I want us to know that everyone is able to write a CV or whatever professional writing by yourself. I know this may sound really strange because we know that there are a lot of professional CV writing agencies here and there, you know, tell you maybe on campuses you see them around. But I want us to know at the end of I want us to be able to at the end of this call be able to have the confidence and the knowledge required to be able to do all of these things by ourselves. It's also, I want us to be able to also know that, okay, even though I have written this thing by myself, I'm still at the situation where I can seek either professional help or give it to a reviewer to check for me, or a coach or one of my career coach or a mentor to check for me. And also, should be able to know the mistakes to avoid. When you're writing your CV, you're writing your cover letter or an email, you should avoid some certain mistakes. We often hear resume, we often hear CV, which is curriculum vitae, and I want to give a little introduction or definition to what these two guys mean. What is a resume and what is a CV? What is a curriculum vitae? In a simple term, a resume in length is usually shorter than the length of a CV. A CV is like an area specific details. For example, if you are a professor or you are an organization, you are the founder of an NGO, for example, you want to apply for grants, for example, and they ask you to submit a CV. So this CV will contain everything about you, including if you have award, if you have publication, if you have everything about you from your primary school education to wherever you are. That is CV. But on the other hand, a resume is like a targeted piece of document that you are specifically writing for a particular purpose, most especially for employment. You write a resume to get an interview for an employment. So, and if you are applying for a job, you know exactly the role, you know exactly the company, you know exactly the job requirements. So this is specific. So just want us to get that before we move on. And also, please remember this. Everyone can write a good resume. Everyone can write a good cover letter. Everyone can write a very good email. You don't need any you don't have to be a genius, you don't have to be a professional writer, you don't have to be a trained copywriter or whatever to be able to write a good resume for yourself. It's something anybody can do. And why did I say this? Because your resume, your cover letter, the email you are writing, it's all about you. It is a document that contains your information. This is a document that contains your own profile, not the profile of somebody else, not the profile of your school, not the profile of your professor, not the profile of whoever. This is about you. So if you cannot write something about you, then what then can you write? This is why I want us to believe that everyone has the ability to write a very good resume or cover letter or any kind of professional writing. So far, it is about you, and we should also know that everyone has more skill than they think they do. For example, maybe we have someone on this call who thinks that, oh, I'm not good at writing, you know, or I'm not good at, let's say, highlighting my skills. I'm not good at knowing my skill, or I'm not good at some kind of skill. Everyone has more skills than they think they do. For example, if you find yourself in an environment where you have to talk about, I think we have mechanical engineer on the engineering student on the call, and you have a project with some of your colleagues, maybe 5 or 6 of you are developing or designing a particular project, and you have to present this project to maybe to win an award from an organization or anything. You are just a mechanical engineering student. Why would somebody tell you to come and present what a project that you have done? Presentation is not a skill an engineer is taught in class. But I tell you, if you go through the process of designing or building a project, you will see that at the end of the day that presenting such project to anyone, telling people what you have done with your team member on any project will be something that you can do, even if you have never done it before. This is why I believe I want us to know that everyone has more skill than they think they do. It's just that you haven't maybe developed the skill yet. Maybe you need to develop the skill, or maybe you need to even put the skill into use. This is something we should also think about. So as a resume, like I said at the beginning, we will be focusing. I know the topic says CV, but from what is more relevant for us now as students or as fresh graduates is resume. It's resume because this as we are living, as we are graduating, we are leaving school. The next thing we want to do is to secure a job. We want to maybe secure an internship, for example, or secure industrial training, IT, secure something. You need a resume for this. This is why I will be tilting more towards letting us know how a resume should look like. You understand what I'm saying? And in generally a resume should be almost, it's not even should, a good resume must be targeted. It must have a target. You are writing a resume to target a particular application. You cannot have a resume that can apply for as a mechanical engineer. You cannot have a resume that you can use to apply for, let's say, a volunteering role. You cannot have the same resume. So I know this is common, that somebody just have, you just see my resume on his computer or on his phone as a document. That is his resume. If somebody calls him or he saw an application, you want to apply, you just click upload my resume. Okay, apply. That. You don't. That is not a resume. A resume must be targeted, and by targeting, it means that you have to first understand what you are applying for, the role you are applying for. If you are applying for a role that they seek that you should have a presentation skill, or that you should have a teamwork, you should be able to work in a team, then you must prepare a resume that presents you to the employer. The purpose of your resume is to convince whoever is reading the resume that you are the perfect, nobody can do this job than you, other than you. You are the perfect person that they need. You are the perfect candidate specifically needed for this role. So now tell me, if you don't target your resume to this application, then how do you want to convince someone that, okay, this, because the person doesn't know you. Your resume is like your brochure, is like your photo. If you send somebody your photo now, they can see, oh, this person's eye is big, this person's mouth is wide. This is your resume. You understand? So it has to be targeted towards whatever role or application you are applying for. It has to be effective. Your resume has to be effective. Effective in such a way that you don't put redundant information in this in your resume. Your resume must exactly be able to convince whoever is reading it, whoever is reading, whether it's hiring manager or a recruiter is reading your resume, the person should be able to say, okay, this is the perfect person that I need. And of course, you should avoid error in your resume. After you finish writing your resume, please check, give it to someone else or a friend or a mentor or whatever to check for you, to avoid typographical error or mismatch of information, fake information or false information. You must be able to your resume must be error free. I've mentioned this earlier before. Your resume only includes relevant information. For example, if you have gotten some awards while you are in school, maybe you are the best in jet club in your secondary school, or during your graduate, you got some, you were the let's say you are a you are a sports guy and you got some awards in sports, and after school you are applying as a graduate trainee in Dangote refinery, for example. you know you now put in, oh, you are the you got an award, or you got, I don't want to, let me think of one um, information. Let's say your marital status, for example. Marital status, for example, as an information. Are you married or single, whatever. This kind of information is not necessary. The person the recruiter that will be reading your CV does not need to know. Does not need to know if you are married or not, because you don't need to be married or single to be able to perform as a graduate trainee, or as a reservoir engineer, or as a materials engineer, or as a pharmacist, or as a medical doctor, except it's specifically written, requested, in the application. So by relevant information, it still boil down to targeting your resume to the specific application you are writing it for. So the information that is only the information that is required, or only the information that you need to convince whoever is reading your resume, should be included in your resume. Also important is to show the date. When you say you graduated from Footmina, for example, you have to tell us the date that you graduated, because this let us know that, okay, does this person just finish, or has this person finished 3, 4, 5 years ago, to be able to say, okay, what kind of experience, or what kind of knowledge, or how soon, or this kind of information is needed. If you say you graduated, you finished secondary school, then you moved to university, when did you finish? They want to know. And also, please, resume should also include metrics of achievement. By metrics of achievement, I mean, let us know to what extent, if you say you achieved something, to what extent were you able to make impact. For example, an example of this is that maybe you spearhead a strategy, whatever, in a group of project team, and maybe you reduce the project time. For example, if they give you a project is supposed to take, let's say, 3 weeks, and maybe because of your teamwork experience, because of your communication skill, or because of your data analytics skill, you were able to improve the communication between your team, and shorten the project time by, let's say, 20%. This 20% is a metric. Or for example, maybe you were given a task. You are an accounting student, for example. You were given a task um let's say, reconcile an accounting, whatever, you know and you want us to know that this is what you did in your past experience. Let us know, okay, you were able to reduce cost of so amount, or for this business, by 30%, or you were able to reduce, metrics give the person reading your resume an idea of what impact did you make. You don't just write, I spearhead, or I led a team. You understand? I led a team of to improve, or to some of these action verb are also very, very important in your resume, maybe to improve, or to increase, or to enhance, or to spearhead, or all of these things, and you must give us the metric of achievement. Another important item on your resume is that they must be chronological. For example, by chronological, I mean that your education, for example, you started from primary school, secondary school, university. And it's always also very, very important that you start from the most relevant one, the or most recent one. Most recent one. You don't list your education experience, or background from primary school. Whoever is reading your resume has a very, very limited, because you're not the only applicant. They have the very, very limited time to check your resume. So give us the most recent, important and relevant information, and in a chronological manner. If you give, for example, you have a master's, you have a bachelor's, and you went to secondary school, of course, you don't put BSc, then put secondary school, and put masters. It has to be chronological, whether in ascending or descending. But I tell you, it's always better to start from the most recent event that is relevant for this application, for this role that you are applying. Also, clearly show all important contact information. This is very, very important. I see a lot of undergraduate, a lot of young people. I've also done this before in the past, especially when it comes to email. Maybe it was the email that you opened when you were in SS1, when you wanted to open Facebook. Maybe you just write Oluwapemi Fineboy at Gmail, Oluwapelumi Fineboy at gmail.com. And this has been your email ever since. Please change this email today and write your first name and your last name at so at gmail at yahoo.com. Don't put all of these funny emails as a professional. That is not a professional email. You can use that for your Facebook or your Instagram or whatever. But when it comes to professional writing, you use professional email address and other contact information like your phone number. Make sure your phone number is the one that is valid and also reachable. That is, your best phone number. Don't put a phone number maybe that is in the phone that will not be reachable, because this is contact information, and once you get this out, you cannot change it. That is why it's very important to have all important contact information readily visible on your, preferably at the top of your CV. I'm not going to show us any CV template, because there are tons of CV out there that you can see, free templates out there. But what I want to achieve with this session is that whatever template or whatever, maybe you got some CV from of your senior colleague or wherever you get your CV, you should be able to know yourself that, oh, this CV template is not good. This one is good. You understand? So this is what I want to achieve with this session. So and it's also very important that your contact information is at the top of the document, preferably just right beside your name. So when the person reads it and maybe catches something that's interesting, they know that, okay, let's contact this guy. Immediately they can get your phone number or your email address or your contact address there, and maybe send you whatever they want to send you. Also, your resume must not contain false or fake or confidential information. For example, you are a medical student, or you are a doctor, you are applying for a job, and you have some confidential information of some of your clients or your patients. You don't include, even though this is an achievement for you. Probably you have treated someone, you have treated someone of a particular ailment. You don't include this kind of confidential. The confidential information in this case is the person's name, the person's yeah, address, something that can link an information to somebody or to a company or something. You don't include this kind of information. They are confidential, and you don't include it in your resume. And the last here I would say is that your resume must be submitted in a requested format. Some recruiter don't usually ask for maybe to submit your resume in PDF or Word, for example. But if they request that it must be submitted in .doc format or .pdf, please use this format to submit your resume. This is because maybe their system only recognizes this kind of format, and it's very important for you to keep this format when you are submitting your resume. And if this is not asked, my advice is always that you should save your resume in PDF. PDF, because number one, it's like a static document format, whereby whoever is opening it, the whichever design or however you have written your resume remains static. It doesn't wobble up, unlike Word document. If you write your resume in a 2010 work document, and a 2016 Word is opening it, this could change the font or whatever in your resume. So that is why I always advise that we keep our resume. If there is no requested format from the recruiter or from the company or whatever, then we submit it in PDF. So that is that about resume. By now, I believe that we should be able to say, if you see any template, any even on our resume now, right now, you should be able to know that, oh, my resume, and then I need to work on my resume or not. So let's move to cover letter. Cover letter is a document that complements and emphasizes the highlights of our resume. For example, if you say in your cover letter that you spearheaded a team and able to improve the size of whatever, or to save or to increase the profit of a business by 20%, tell us if this kind particular skill is important for this application, for the role that you are applying for. This is an opportunity for you to emphasize, for you to let us, tell us a bit more how you achieve this, so that the person that is reading the cover letter will know that, oh, it's not just that you did it, you exactly know how you do it, how you did it before. Then you can also repeat it if you are given the opportunity to work with them. It also The cover letter also help you to express your interest, how enthusiastic you are for this particular position. This is the essence of the cover letter. And it's only, I always advise that you keep your resume, even your resume to only one page. I mean, we are all here undergraduate or fresh graduates, except you have a ton of professional experience. Then maybe 2 pages can be preferable, or is allowed, but it's always, in a very good, in a best interest to keep our resume as much as possible on only one page. The same thing with cover letter, so that in cover letter is just like a 3 to 4, primarily, 3 to 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph, you want to catch the attention of the hiring manager or the recruiter and explain why you are applying. In this first paragraph also, if somebody has maybe recommended you or referred you for this role, you want to make sure that you put this person name. Of course, you have to get the consent of this person, so that when your recruiter or hiring manager reads it on the first paragraph, you already saw that, oh, you have affiliation, or you were referred to this role. This is the opportunity to catch the attention of the hiring manager, because the first paragraph is like an opening paragraph for them. If you are not able to grab the attention of this person, then they may not continue to read the remaining part of the document. You understand? For example, if you have worked as an IT student or as a trainee in a company before, maybe in foundry level, and you went back to school, and fortunately for you, after school, you saw that they are advertising a role in the same company, then you have to be able to use that first paragraph to either tell them that you have worked there before, or mention some particular project that you worked on to be able to grab this hiring manager's attention, that makes you stand out. So it's the first paragraph is an opportunity for us to grab the hiring manager's attention, and also tell them why you are applying, why you are the best fit for this job. The second and the third paragraph then gives the details of our background, of our qualification, your education, your experience, and how they match the job's requirements. If the job requirement wants someone who can use, let's say, AutoCAD, for example, then if you have the skill of AutoCAD design, then this is an opportunity to let them know what have you done before that is similar or that matches what the job will require you to do in future. This is an opportunity to, in this second and third paragraph, to explain, to elaborate on why your qualification and background specifically match what they are looking for. And the last paragraph is you expressing gratitude for their time. You have to thank them for reading it, because whoever reads your cover letter to the last paragraph and saw that you even thank them, then they know that you appreciate their time. Then also you tell them that you would like to be considered, and to be considered for this job, and also let them know that you are available for an interview in an earliest time in the future, so that they know that, oh, this person is so confident that the qualification that he has said above matches our requirement, and is also letting us know that he would like to be considered, and also is also available for an interview. So that is that about cover letter. I hope you are still. I'm not taking too much time, because I know we will have a lot of questions at the end of the presentation, so I want to keep some time for this. Yeah, emails are very, very important. Emails are not just WhatsApp chat that you send to your friends and to your family. You send some emojis and all of these things. Emails is especially professional emails. These professional emails are legal documents. First of all, we must understand that emails are legal. It's just email is just like a contract. The reason is that if you send an email to someone, then bear it in mind that you can be held responsible for whatever information that you put in this email. You understand? You can be held responsible for whatever, even if you delete it, even if you delete this email, it can be used anytime as a legal document. So we should also be that tells us that we should be mindful of what we put in our email. And okay, like I said, since it's a legal document, it is admissible. It can be used as an evidence in court, either against us or for us. So this is also important. For example, you will be graduating very soon, or you are looking for you are seeking employment. When you are writing emails or you are sending application, some application for job requires that you send them through emails. Maybe you attach your resume to the email. You put your cover letter in the body of the email, or you attach your cover letter as the case may be. You put a little introduction of yourself in the body. Ensure that you are not putting maybe false information. The same guidelines that guides how you wrote your resume and your cover letter should guide what you put in your email. You're not putting someone's confidential information in your email. And also, never write anything in an email that you do not want to be released to the public, because this is a legal document. Like I said, it can be used as an evidence against or for us. So whatever information that you don't want to be released to the public, you don't put it in an email. And we should also, when you are sending an email, bear it in mind that your entire professional or private network would also read this email. Because in email, just like in WhatsApp, similar to what we have in WhatsApp, somebody can forward your message. Somebody can you can send your message to a group. Maybe you send something confidential or something, I don't know, to a friend or a colleague. The person can just with a button forward to 200 people. You understand? So this is something that in a profession, as a professional, as a student, we should also keep this in mind. An email that tells us that email is not something you just send out. Just in an email is not your go-to mode of communication. You understand? Email. So when then is an email appropriate? When you need to get in touch with someone who is maybe difficult to reach, or who is out of reach, maybe somebody you cannot pick the phone, or somebody you cannot see to talk to. This is when you send an email. You understand? Also, when maybe you need to attach a file, like I mentioned earlier. If you're applying for a job with your resume, you need to attach a file. Definitely, you have to send this in an email. Also, if the information is not time sensitive, because if your email is not, a lot of people are busy. Email is not like an instant messaging way of communication. You know, as we are in this call now, if we receive a WhatsApp message as an example, as you are listening to me, you could still hold your phone and quickly check who sent me WhatsApp message. But if it's an email, trust me, you will probably not even check it today at all. You understand? Imagine a friend or your colleague now sending you a message that they want you to respond to instantly. They don't You don't normally send this with email. So your email should not you should not use email that for information that is time sensitive. That's what I'm saying. If you need somebody to respond to you, you are in an emergency situation. You want your mom or your sibling or your colleague to maybe send you a document quickly, or you are in a bank, you want to use an ATM, and your ATM is you found out that your ATM, you don't have enough sufficient fund in your account. You don't send email at this point. You use something that is more, because it is time sensitive. You want to maybe pay at a supermarket and you need somebody to send you money into your account. You don't use email in this kind of situation. This is what I'm kind of saying. So you send an email when you need record of communication. This is why I said email is a legal document, because it keeps record. Even if the person that sent the email deletes it, its email has for Gmail and Yahoo and all of these email provider, they have a cloud storage where whenever this communication is needed, it can be pulled out. It's unlike WhatsApp and all of this instant messaging where your messages are encrypted. Email is not encrypted. So if you want to send an information, or you want to communicate with someone, for example, maybe in school, you want to communicate with your HOD that you submitted your project or whatever, and you want it to be on record so that tomorrow they will not say, oh, they did not receive your project, or you know something like that. You use email. This is where email are appropriate. Yeah, so this is also very important to understand how does an email look like, and how should I send an email. Your email will have the emails or email that is receiving your email. The email address that is receiving your email could be, you can send an email to one person or to multiple recipients. So this will be where is the pointer? So here, for example, this is your tool. You put your email address, the email address of the person you are sending your email address to. It could be multiple emails or only one. You use comma to separate, or semicolon to separate multiple emails. This is your CC. CC is if Mr. Jumbo is sending email to Mr. Samuel, for example, and he wants Ibukun Anna to see the email, or maybe in the email, Mr. Jumbo referred to Anna that, okay, Anna has done something, 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 or Anna has provided the information. Please work on it. And you want Ibukun Anna to know that you have sent this email to Mr. Samuel Ogidi. Then you have to put Ibukun's Anna's email as the CC. And once you put as CC, Mr. Jumbo will be able to also see that, oh, Ibukun Anna is aware that Mr. Samuel has sent me this email. So this is what CC is used for. Then another option here is blind copy. BCC is where if you put someone's email in BCC, the person the person the your recipient here will not know that you also send this email to another person. That's like a blind copy. You will just receive the person you put in blind copy. If you put Ibukwana, for example, as a blind copy recipient here, Mr. Jumbo would not know that you put this person. This is not regularly used, but it could be also useful in some cases. Then your email subject are like headlines. This is what lets somebody to, it's like it contains the main point or the idea of the email. That is what the recipient will see before even opening the email, to be able to know, okay, is this email urgent? Is it that important? Should I check it now, or should I check it next week? This is the essence of, so you have to keep it short and put the main idea or the main point of your email is on as a subject. For example, let's say you are working on a project, three of you. You now send, maybe Mr. Jumbo wants to send the document to Gidi that he should work on it, and he should check the data and maybe analyze it and whatever. Then your subject could look like, uh, please analyze the data, as short as that. Please analyze, or the data has been provided, please analyze. Something that already give Mr. Ogidi the idea of what you put in your email. You don't send email without subject. An email without subject is like a newspaper without headline. It's a news without headline. You get what I'm saying? So you never saw you never you never see a newspaper without putting the headline, or a news without headline. Headline is something that gives you an idea, that makes you want to read this news. The same thing as subject. It must be specific to what is included in the subject in the email. It must be informative, contains the main idea, like I mentioned, and you should also keep it very, very short. You should always also keep it very, very short so that the person be able to get the main idea. So, and the last one here is the body of the email. The body of the email starts with greeting. Let's say, I, Mr. Ogidi. That is the greeting. Or dear Mr. What's so. Hello or hello. In some cases, it depends on the culture of the institution you are working in. Depends on, and some in some cases could be, maybe if you have depends on the culture of the organization. In summary, it could be there, it could be good evening, it could be good day, it could be hi, it could be this is how you start your email. Then you go to the body. You also understand that what is the purpose of this email that is contained in your body. So it's like the body of the email contains exactly what you want the person to do, exactly the information you want to pass to this person. Then most times you end an email with action. Do you want the person to respond? Do you want the person to take an action to work on something, or you want the person to maybe correct or review or whatever, for example. So this is where you put the action you want the person to take, and as a closing of the body, you you put another greeting, like best regards, or like a signature, sincerely, yours faithfully, and you put your full name, your first name, and your last name. So, what are the key takeaways of today's session? What, even if you have not been listening since we started, please take this with us. Let's take this with us as we round up this session. The key takeaway, first of all, is that our resume is a marketing tool for ourselves. It's what markets us. Your resume is what markets you for a particular role. If that means we don't include irrelevant information, irrelevant information, or over information, something that is not relevant or is not important for the application for the role that we are applying for. It's like a marketing tool. Your resume and cover letter should be tailored to specific application. I have mentioned this earlier, so please let's take this away with us. It must be tailored to specific application. You you have to, for example, if there are some keywords that they have used in the job requirement. For example, if they say the ideal candidate should have analytical skill, ideal candidate should have a teamwork, to be able to work in a team, ideal candidate should be able to have very good communication skill. You make sure that you tailor your CV and cover letter in this manner using these keywords. Of course, you don't just put in keywords anyhow. You put it in a very natural manner that they know that, oh, this person is actually fit for this role. Then avoid using fancy or decorative fonts. This we used to see. I don't think this exists anymore, but I just want to say it, that we don't use fancy, like cursive, or a lot of decorative fonts in your CV. It's not you are not designing for somebody. You want to impress someone to take you, to accept you into their organization. So you don't use a font that they will not be able to read, that is not legible. You keep it simple, professional, and consistent. It's also very important. If you are using Arial, or you are using Calibri or Vendana or Times New Roman, you don't use Times New Roman at the beginning, then at the middle, or in your education, you now use Calibri. Then in the end, when you are telling us about your skill, you now use maybe Arial. No, you keep it consistent. If you are using whatever font that you start with, you use it throughout the document. You can only maybe bold in some places. Maybe you want to bold, you want to underline. These are different. But when it comes to the font, you make sure that you keep your font consistent throughout the document. Also, ensure proper formatting. You make sure that you format document very, very well and preview the printing area, because sometimes they want to print your CV. Maybe you catch their attention like you want to, and now it's time for them to print your CV to maybe for further processing, and your CV now could not be, or your cover letter or your resume could not be printed. It's out of preview, print preview. So it's also very important before you save or before you submit, before you send your document, please check the print preview. Make sure that whatever information that you have put there is within the print area of the document. Also, let's also remember to proofread. Sometimes you write something and you omit a word, you misspell, you spell your word wrongly. Please, it's important that before you send your application, your resume or whatever, before you send it out, if possible, you read it loud. Read it loud and hear yourself, so that when you read it loud, you could maybe it becomes easier for you to spot a mistake, or maybe an omission or addition or any error. It's always easier to spot when you read it loud. Like I mentioned before, use keywords in the job requirement in a very natural manner. Don't sound like an AI. I know we are not going to talk about ChatGPT to help how it can help you now. Maybe that will be another topic next time, or maybe you guys already know about it. There are a lot of AI assistants now that can help you to refine or maybe make better your writing. It's very encouraged to use. Nobody should discourage you to use AI, but you have to use AI in a very natural manner. Let nobody see that I'm reading your cover letter, for example, and I already saw that, oh, Mr. Jumbo did not write this thing. No, maybe ChatGPT wrote it for him. Then it already tells me that you don't have ability to do anything. You understand? You rely 100%. If ChatGPT can write your CV to the extent that somebody else know that or saw directly that you use ChatGPT to write it, then you are telling them that anything you want to do, you cannot do it. You understand? Then also keep only important and relevant information in our document, whether in your resume or in your cover letter or in your emails. Keep only important and relevant information therein. Let's also remember to save our document in a readable and compatible format. For example, when you are saving, yeah, this is also very important. Let's take this away. When you are saving your resume or your cover letter, you use your name. You name that your government name, first name, last name. For example, Jumbo Samuel resume.pdf, Anna Ibukun cover letter.doc. Ogunbowale Yusuf Aderemi resume, so that this helps the recruiter or the hiring manager when he checks through the tons of document that he has received. He immediately see your name. For example, maybe they already discussed, saw your resume at the beginning and they want to check it again later. They cannot be look, some people just save resume as my resume. For example, my resume. You cannot be looking for imagine if everybody saves their resume as my resume, then which one will the recruiter say open to know that this is Ibukun Anna? But if you saved it with Ibukun Anna, they already easily go through their folder and see this is the person we are looking for. And immediately, without wasting time, they pull out your resume. So you make it easy for them to spot you and to hire you. You remove whatever friction that is between you and getting into this organization. That is the essence of saving your document with your name. It's very, very important. Very, very important to save with your name. And don't just save with first name. Save with, if you have three names, it's even better, so that you don't find yourself in a situation where uh maybe somebody else is also bearing an Anna Ibukun, and now there are two Anna Ibukun. You don't know which one. So if you have third name, also put it there. It's very important. Also, avoid poor or unclear communication. in your document, whether email, resume, or whatever. You make sure that you have a clear and very good communication also in email, because poor communication, especially via email, would have significant implication. For example, if you don't put in clear information in an email, and the person that you are sending this email to took a wrong action. Let's say you are a medical doctor, for example, you are sending an email to a nurse to administer a drug or to give a patient drug at so time. Maybe you send the schedule and it's not clear. Maybe you just wrote some, I don't know, I'm not a medical doctor. Maybe you just wrote some unclear communication. Imagine the nurse now acts on this kind of poor communication and they administer drugs wrongly to your patient. This is how it could affect. It could also have financial implication, for example. So let's make sure that our communication is clear and also very 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 good. So this will take us to the end of this session. I thank you very very much for listening. I hope I'm still within time, and so that we can take questions if there is any. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable insights on professional writing with us today. And your expertise have certainly enlightened us on how to craft effective CVs, cover letters, and emails. Thank you so much, sir. So now it's time for question and answer. If you have any question for Mr. Taufik Yusuf, please feel free to type them in the chat box or use the raise hand feature if you like to ask verbally. We'll do our best to address as many questions as possible. So let's
Yeah.
get started. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Jumbo. If you have any question, let me see the chat.
Okay, sir. I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, sir. My question is based on how I can effectively differentiate my CV for probably an undergraduate internship in educational settings, and that as a data analyst or data analysis role. Is there any specific tips on highlighting relevance and relevant skills and experiences for each field while keeping the CV concise and impactful?
So if I get you right, you you want to apply for an internship. Can you come again, please?
Yes, sir. I don't know how we can differentiate or how we
Okay.
can make probably two CVs very effective
Yeah,
based
yeah,
on different rules.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's a question. Yeah, very, very good question. Very, very good question. Yeah, it's possible. For example, if you are I will take myself as an example. You know, my background is metallurgical engineering, and at some point, I was learning some mechanical designs, learning how to design some 3D, whatever, out of this machine design, you know. So when it got to the point where I am, applying for jobs, I was looking for job in these two areas. So it's very possible because your education, first of all, your educational background already place you that is important. Your educational background already place you in a position where you are fit for any role. That's important. You are not a medical doctor and you are applying for some roles in, let's say, software development without any educational background. If you want to switch, it's a different thing. But now you're not switching. You want to apply here. You want to have a CV that can apply for this role. You also want to have a CV that can. It's very very possible. You just need to you just need to work on your skill section of your resume, your skill and your experiences. If you have experiences that gives you best fit as a data analyst, that is where you concentrate on. Or even if, because for data analysis as an example is a skill. maybe even in another role, not even as a data analyst, you have used your data analysis skills, or you have achieved some data analytical achievement, or you have used this skill to benefit an organization. You make sure you concentrate on this for your data analysis role. Then, if you, as a chemical engineer or whatever role, your second role, you also concentrate on the skills that are relevant for this role. So it's very possible to have, the only thing that will be the same is maybe your name, of course, your contact information, your educational background, other things, other section, which especially from your your work experience, professional experience, your skill, and your interest also. These are what will now change. So it's very possible to have even three roles. If you know that, oh, you have so many skills, you are a nerd, you have a lot of skills, and you're not sure which one comes first, then you can have three different CV resume for this kind of role. What you should not do is now put all of these skills together under one resume. This already tells the recruiter that you are a jack of all trade, a master of none. Then even if they see that, why will somebody, a chemical engineer, be able to use Power BI or use this, use that? It doesn't interest them, because it shows that you don't know what you are doing. But if you have them differently, that's very, very possible. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for the
Yeah.
clarifications. I really appreciate it. So we have a couple of questions in the chat box. I'll just read them out.
Okay.
The first question is from Mr. Samuel Gideon. He said, what are the key tricks or tips that could help in navigating the software called ATS to avoid getting an instant rejection less than 48 hours after applying? This is especially for multinational companies.
Yeah, ATS. ATS is like a menace to applicants. It's called applicant tracking system, if I'm correct. Yeah. So what it is it's like an algorithm. And what it does is It checks for keyword that they have used, that they have used to write or to craft the job requirement. That's why I mentioned that your resume must be tailored fit to whatever role you are applying. That is very, very important. If it's you check the keywords, you research about the company. What does the company what does the company value? What is their culture, whatever, in the job requirement? You make sure that you use this same job requirement, these same keywords in your resume. That's very, very important. If they have used analytical, they have used, let's say, the person must reside in Lagos, for example. Then in your address, you must use the Lagos address, because maybe that may be a setting in their ATS, that whoever does not reside in Lagos or is not a Nigerian or whatever should not be considered. So you critically read. That's why you see me. I did not bring any CV template or my own CV as an example for you, because my own CV could be different from the CV that will help you to land your job. You understand? So, but the foundation is that you read the job requirement. Read the job requirement. The first job that you have as an applicant is to read the job requirement and make sure that you take all the relevant keywords in that job requirement to now rewrite your CV. If you have in your CV before that you manage a team of let's say two people to do a project, whatever, whatever. And in the job requirement, they said they want somebody who has um, teamwork experience or teamwork skill. Then you have to go and rewrite that part of your CV to say um, you have used your teamwork experience to you have to just rewrite it to make sure that you have those keywords, those specific keywords that they have used in the job requirements. I don't know if that is clear enough. So that is the only way that you can you can scale through this applicant tracking system. I know it's a very odd topic. A lot of times you saw a role and be like, oh, this is me, and they are looking for me. But what tells them this is you is what you have written down, on your CV, on your resume. So they don't know you. You understand? That's why you have to read the job requirements critically, scrutinize it, and get these keywords into your CV. Once you get it into your CV, then you have a higher chance of scaling through this software. And it's not only keyword, it could also be background. Maybe in the job requirement, they have specified some background, like the person should study business admin, the person should study accounting, the person should study so, 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 and so. They might have put some of these words, this field in the applicant tracking system. And any CV that does not contain this in the educational field section, it automatically puts it off. In this case, there's nothing you can do. But my point is that you make sure that you put as much as possible keywords from the job requirement into your CV. Thank you. I hope that answers Mr. Samuel Ogidi's question.
Yes, sir, I believe so, sir. Thanks so much for the um question answered. So we have another question here from Bushra Adebayo. Um the question is based on cover letters, and it goes like this: does our name come in the first page, then the details in the next page, or everything is supposed to be in one page?
Yes, for your cover letter and including your resume, as much as possible, keep it one page. Keep it one page so that the recruiter or the hiring manager, whoever is reading your document, at a glance can see everything, can skim through in less than 30, 40 seconds, can skim through. It doesn't have to flip your especially if you are a fresh graduate or you are a student looking for internship or whatever. Make sure you keep it. It's very important if you can keep it as a one pager. If you have a lot of skills or whatever, then you should keep only the most relevant ones, so that you concentrate your resume or cover letter with only relevant information. So keep it one page. And for the question about name, your name, yeah, like I've mentioned this earlier, on your resume and your cover letter, your name and contact information should be at the top of the document. Your name and your contact information, those two things, your email address, your phone number, and your LinkedIn link, the link to your LinkedIn profile. This is where your LinkedIn profile is like your online portfolio. So where every other thing that you did not include, maybe your award, your volunteering experience, whatever, the recruiter can, if he's interested or if she's interested, can click on this link and directly post this information on LinkedIn. So all your contact information. And another thing I would like to say, that also some of the errors, I forgot to include it, is that keep only one phone number on your resume, please. Only one phone number. Some people have, nowadays you are using Etisalat because of Etisalat data is cheaper. Tomorrow you switch to Blue because Etisalat internet is misbehaving. You now have, at the end of the day, you have 3 to 4 different phone numbers. Please have one that is your active, your best phone number. Don't put 2 phone numbers on resume. It's not the best. Keep it only one, because if you put two there, you're already telling the recruiter that, oh, decide the one. I wanted to say Yoruba, choose the one that you want. You are giving them and you are giving them option. Then they are confused. Should they pick the first one or they should pick the second one? And if you are unlucky, they pick one out of the two, and that one is unreachable at that time. Then they will not try the second one. They move to the next person. You understand? So that's why it's important, keep your phone number only one, your best phone number. If you have MTN, if that is your best phone number, keep it in the phone that doesn't go off all every time. You understand? I think that answered the question. Thank you for the question. Very important one.
Sir, thank you for the clarification, sir. Really appreciate. So the last question on the chat box is from Israel Ulu, and his question is in a situation where the person does not have a working experience, how will the person convince the organization to employ him or her?
If you don't have work experience, let's say you are, I'll assume the person is an under level, a first year student of the university. I mean, that it's only when you are in your first year, I would say you have nothing to write on your resume. But if you are, let's say in final year, then then you should have something to probably you've done, even if it is helping in organizing some departmental events. Even if it is you organize football between your department and another department, this is also a skill that is important because this is also something you can put. It's not a work experience, but it's something you can put in your resume to tell the person that, oh, you have some skills. And this is why um now we are preaching that people should volunteer. This is why we are preaching that people should volunteer. You don't have to be paid to get work experience. No, your work experience does not necessarily mean something somebody paid you for. If you volunteer, for example, in your local mosque or your local church, for example, or in a club or whatever, and you help them to analyze their data, for example, or you help them to design graphics, you are helping them to, for example, as Jumbo is doing now, guiding us through or moderating this event, for example, is also an experience. If he wants to, for example, apply for another, I don't know, what kind of role that will require this kind of skill. It's something you can put there. Okay, there's an event, it's a Mr. B event and whatever, whatever, and I was able to moderate a 2 hours event on, so volunteer. Don't don't wait until, don't think that you must get work experience from a paid engagement. No, you can get job work experience from volunteering. You can even get work experience from personal projects. Maybe you are an accountant, for example, or you are a medical, anything, and you can develop a personal project by yourself, even if you don't find somewhere to volunteer. Cook up, do something that you can say that, oh, this is what you have done, and put it on your LinkedIn, put it on your portfolio, or whatever. So because it's kind of difficult if you don't have any work experience, then that means you cannot put anything on your resume because you cannot lie that you've done something you've never done before. So that's why you have to always take up opportunities even if you're not getting paid, because in the end, these are the opportunities that helps you to get to where you are going. I think I've answered the question. Let me know if that's answered the question, Mr. Israel. Can you hear me, Mr. Jumbo?
Yes, sir, he has
Okay.
responded. Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for the question answered. Is there any other question? Do you have any other question from the audience? Okay, if there is no question, thank you all for your
If you
thoughtful
have
question.
whether maybe some question comes later, or you cannot think of question now, that's my name on the screen. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, and feel free to DM me, ask whatever question you have on this topic, maybe if it comes later.
Okay, sir. So I just remembered I have a particular question to ask based on
Okay.
the past experience.
Okay.
Okay, there was a particular scholarship that required us sending our credentials through email.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I made a mistake in terms of the document that I sent. So I later resend a plead and all with the correct document. So in a situation like that, what is the best approach to address
Yeah,
such an instance or to avoid something related
yeah,
to that?
yeah. That happens a lot. Even not only in scholarship, it's good. You may want to send some emails sometimes, and you forget to attach the document that you even refer to in the email. That's why one must check before you send. Check everything properly before clicking send. But if it happens, which it does, we are humans, the best thing to do is what you have done. Just immediately send a follow-up email. Even the best of the best managers or experienced people do these things. It happens, yeah. It's very, very normal that, for example, maybe you forget to you attach a wrong. It could only be a problem if you attach something that can implicate you or a confidential document. But if you attach a wrong document, you know, you just send a follow-up. That's the only thing. You cannot retract it. It's not possible. It's not possible to retract emails. Just send a follow-up and put in let the person know, especially in the subject, that this is a you know, corrected version of so that when they see it, they see two emails from you, they say that okay, this is the correct one. They don't assume that you sent it twice because if you don't let them know that this is a corrected version, then they think that oh, you sent it twice in an error, then they may pick the wrong one and they feel like, okay, what is this? This person did not. So you let them know that this is a correct version or this is an updated version, or let them know in any way in the subject that this is used to correct the mistake that was earlier made in the previous email that was sent. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the
But
prompt.
it's important that we check even before you attach document. Please check. Sometimes please reopen the document and see that oh, this is the right resume. You don't want to attach a resume for data analysis to a petroleum company. They will know that okay, so this person too is applying for. You get what I'm saying? So it's very, very important. Don't apply in a hurry. Take your time, read the job description, meticulously write your resume, and do the application. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering all the questions and
You're
also
welcome.
for taking us through the objective of CV writing, what our resume must have, what a cover letter is, and also the insight from your wealth of knowledge. We really appreciate, sir.
You're
So
welcome.
we've had a great discussion on professional writing. As we wrap up today's session, I would love to leave you with some inspiring quotes related to writing and professional growth. So let's take a moment to reflect on these words of wisdom. So first, we have a quote from Jimmy Johnson, which is, "The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra." And also from Michelle Obama, we have the only limit to the height of your achievement is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work for them.
Hmm,
Thank you.
great. Thank you very much for
So,
sharing the words.
thank you, sir. So we have upcoming events from Mr. B's Foundation. First, we have free CBT readiness program, and the first cohort starts August 2025. It is a digital exam skill training for secondary school students in Nigeria. And the courses that will be taken is digital literacy basics, CBT navigation skills, hands-on practical session, confidence building and troubleshooting. And the forms are available for pickup at Kwa ICT Center at Gideon Bus Stop, Hiwa, Ogun State. And we just have a limited slots available, and it is powered by Mr. B Foundation in partnership with Kwa Educational Foundation and Uriola Foundation. And also we have Mr. B's Foundation in conjunction with Bafam Fashion, which is a fashion skill training, and it started 1st July to 15th December 2025. And it is a fashion design training that will help one build the skills, knowledge, and confidence one needs to succeed in today's competition fashion industry. And the eligibility is that you must be a female, you must be aged from 18 to 35, you must have at least an SSCA certificate, and you must live within Agege, Abule, Egba, Axis. And also, we should know that the registration is still ongoing, but it's just one free slot that is open. So if you are interested in registering, you do well to reach out to Mr. B's Foundation on their social media. So thank you for listening. And also, I would like to say that I'm also a mentee of the second cohort of Mr. B's Foundation. So thank you. And if you want to connect or partner with Mr. B's Foundation or for more inquiries, you can do well to send them a message on LinkedIn, which is Mr. B's Educational Foundation. And also they're on Instagram, Mr. B's Foundation. And also, if you are joining late and you need access to the recorded session for this um, series and also the past series, you can do well to check the YouTube channel, which is Mr. B's Educational Foundation. So thank you and have a lovely day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Bye.